Actor's Choice, where the actors have a chance to talk about themselves and their careers. Join us now for the next hour as we explore the marvelous history of acting through actors and actresses from today's exciting show business world. And now, here's your host, Ron Brewington.
Hi, everybody. I'm Ron Brewington, and welcome to the Actor's Choice. Our first guest today is a veteran actor, filmmaker, director, playwright, and producer. When you say his name here in Los Angeles or Hollywood, it's not a question of who he knows. The question is, who doesn't he know? Let's put it that way. He's been my friend for many years. I've worked with him on several projects, all of which became very successful. It's an honor and a pleasure, ladies and gentlemen, for me to have this gentleman here today. Please welcome Ian Foxx.
Thank you, Brother Ron Brewington. Glad to be here.
Yes, sir. It's good to be seen and not viewed.
Amen.
I love
Amen,
when she says
brother.
That. Indeed. Where are you originally from?
I'm originally from Detroit, Michigan.
Okay.
I grew up in the Motown area.
Indeed. Did you ever run into some of those Motown actors?
All the time. We used to drink wine together back in the day.
You ain't throwing no names out there.
No. But I went to Northwestern High School, which is where some of the Supremes went.
Yes.
I went to Northern. Smokey went to Northern. As a matter of fact, I used to deliver papers there at the building. You know. Wow. So I mean, but like it was neighborhood. You know, it was the West Side. So I mean, I remember seeing those guys for like 50 cents a night. You know, seeing the whole slate, Smokey and the Isley Brothers and all that stuff, man. It was great stuff. It was very inspirational too.
Got you. I can imagine. It made you get into entertainment.
Yes. It was a booster.
Yes.
But what made me get into entertainment, what really fascinated me was when I saw Sidney Poitier in Blackboard Jungle.
All right.
That was it. All right. That was it. And you know, I used to tell people I was going to do that, and they said, "Yeah, right." You know. So, but those were dreams that you have, and we're talking about in the 50s. I mean, like, I don't know how well we adapted to people that dreamed, because your neighborhood was so small, and if you did any or had any thoughts of going beyond the barriers that we knew about, it was like going off the edge of the world or something like that. You know,
you might not can't come back sometimes.
Yeah. Well, you know, like not only can you not come back, but how do you get there?
God, major urban areas I'm from New York City and Harlem, as you know. We had our problems. Detroit had their problems.
Yeah.
All these major cities, and what it was like growing up in each city.
Well, you know, I don't necessarily think there were problems. It was just like misinformation.
Okay.
And let's look at it. Our circle of goals were a lot smaller. I mean, you know, we only had, you had Jackie Robinson, Larry Doty, yada, yada, yada. But, I mean, there was no NBA, there was no NFL, you know what I'm saying? The lack of our participation in the Olympics. So the goals were very, very low. Mostly in our community, it was like go to college, be a doctor, lawyer. That was mostly what you aspired to. That was about the highest that you aspired. Yes. But beyond being in the entertainment industry, there wasn't very much of that in Detroit, before Motown. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
So then, after you went somewhere along the lines, you left Motown and you went to New York City.
I went to New York. Okay, this is how it happened. A friend of mine got drafted.
Okay.
And he ran off to New York.
Okay.
Rather than go to the service. And I went to visit him for a weekend.
He ain't out of jail.
He never got caught. He got caught later.
He got caught
later, yeah. But I had been in the service with a friend of mine in 1962, and I went to the Air Force after I came out of high school. And we had always said that we'd get in touch later on. We had a little running bet about who would get to where first. But anyway, he lived in Buffalo, so I went to Buffalo to visit him on the way to New York City. But I got to New York City, and in 1968, I think it was right around the time of the King assassination in '68, I think, and that was one of the most significant things. Yes. And I was walking down the street one day, and I saw this place called Carnegie Hall.
Oh yes, Carnegie Hall,
on 57th Street, and I went in. You know, I said, "Oh, I read about that." You know, and I went in and I saw they had so and so trained here, so and so trained here, yada yada yada. So I began taking classes with a lady named Antonia Ray. Senior Academy Drama Workshop or something like that. But from there, I went to audition for a play at the Public Theater with Joe Papp. My first play, no lines. I'm in the play with Madge St. Clair, Cleavon Little, Leopoldo Mandeville, and another guy named Damon Kenyatta, who was ultimately a writer. But that was my first experience with a play, and it was just the bomb. At the Public Theater, Joe Papp, that was like they didn't know place to be somebody, and all of this stuff there back in the day, right? So I mean, there was Niecey, there was Roger Furman, there was Barbara Ann Tier. So it was like a real hub of black theater back in that period, the late '60s. So that was how I kind of like cut my teeth on that.
Wow, you did have a tough competition in that town.
Yeah, but it's like, I mean, you didn't at the time. It was like you didn't really view it as competition. You didn't have. I don't know if I had enough intellect to know that it was competition. It's like it was something that you liked, and you had a lot of fun. I mean, like it was really a community of artists.
Yes.
At that period.
Wow, but you learned a lot.
I learned a lot. Worked with some great people. Met some great people. Some of those relationships I still endure today. I mean, like Woody King.
Yes, I was going to say we saw him recently.
Yeah,
at an
yes.
event.
And Woody's the homeboy. Woody's from Detroit as well.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't know him in Detroit. I met him in New York,
Gotcha.
along with another brother who was very proficient at theater out here, Cliff Rockmore.
Yes.
Yes, from inner city.
Yes.
Which was my first job when I got to L.A., inner city. But after I left, so I got involved in New York, and we did a play called The Black Experience. And it was like Blackness back in the day, in the late 60s, you know what I'm saying? So we did a lot of touring. We did colleges all up and down the East Coast. We did the Apollo.
All right.
We used to go into prisons, and talk to the brothers in the prisons and stuff. And we did have an opportunity to do something real big one time with a guy named Gil Noble.
Yes.
In New York, right? And the same week that we were going to do this show with Gil Noble, Attica broke out, and that was like bam.
Bam. Yeah.
So that was a tide changer.
Gotcha.
So anyway, so I stayed there. We did the college circuit about 2 or 3 years. Then I went there. I had a friend of mine named Buddy Butler who got a job in Seattle, Washington.
Seattle, Washington. Yes.
And at Black Arts West Theater, so he says, "Come on out, Ian. I want you to run be the company manager, so and so and so." So, well, that time, like I say, I went to New York for a weekend. I stayed 6 years.
Long weekend.
Long weekend. It was powerful too, man. It was powerful.
It was.
So stayed in Seattle for 3 years. We did a series of shows that migrated from New York to Seattle at No Place to Be Somebody. We did Ceremonies of Dark Old Men. We did Sty the Blind Pig. So theater always proved to be, you learned about people and places and things.
Yes.
And that was probably the greatest enlightenment when you come to what your contributions were to the world and what your place is, where your people's place is, So it was very educational for me. While I was in Seattle, I met a guy named Nate Long. We did something called South by Northwest, which is the history of the blacks in the Northwest. Bernie Casey came up to do it. Esther Rowe came up to do it. Vanetta McGee came up to do it. So that was a very enlightening experience there.
Gotcha.
Now, this is the best part was in 1975, the country was about to celebrate the bicentennial.
Right.
And I kept looking at this stuff on television. Betsy Ross did this, Patrick Henry did this, yada, yada. I said, didn't no black people do nothing?
Yeah.
And I came to L.A. for a visit, and I bought a book called The Negro in American History, and I saw all these things that we did. So ultimately, I wrote this show called Red, White, and Blues. They took the red and the white and gave us the blues. And it was called A Bicentennial Statement in Rhythm. So we did that up in Seattle, did colleges up there, yada, yada, yada. Then I worked my way down to L.A. Boom. My goal, my destination from 62. I didn't get here to live until 76.
Wow.
So, like I said, the first job there was Inner City Culture Center,
Yes.
production stage manager. Worked with Rosalind Cash and Zakes Mukai, but was like, that was like real theater.
Yes.
I had a chance to work with guys like Bill Duke, Earl Billings, Carl Franklin, Ralph Farquhar, who wound up being a writer, who wound up working on with my children, with the white guy, what's his name? I can't think of it right now.
Okay.
But Ralph turned very prolific. As a matter of fact, Ralph now does Black Husbands of Hollywood or something like that, what it is. So met all these people. and stayed in the city for a couple of years, for a year or so. Did a few shows there. C. Bernard Jackson, great man. I mean, very good temperament. He would always, you tell him you want to do something, he'd look at you and just shake his head like, okay, yeah, try it. So that was a great influence. Along with C. Bernard, I met Nick Stewart. Ebony Showcase. Yes. Nick was a fan. We did a show called Sister Sister, written by this young lady out of Houston, Texas, Celeste. I can't think of her last name. But anyway, she's the one that wound up writing the one that Iona did last year.
Out of Morris.
Yeah. What was that play they won all the awards with? I can't say. Names escape me. Yeah. But anyway, so Nick turned it into something called Once in a Lifetime, which was, I mean, Nick's theater was probably, for me, a very enlightening experience in terms of he had that whole block over there.
Yes, he did.
In his history, well, Nick Stewart, as we know, was lightning on Amos and Andy. So, I mean, you know, so when I come here, I mean, the first film I did was Disco 9000. I worked with Stymie Beard, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, like, you know, this is Blast of the Past. Did an extra with Sidney Poitier and Piece of the Action or something, one of those films like that. So, worked with D'Urville Martin, Nigga Charlie and all that stuff. So these were, like, very exciting, you know, I mean, you'd wind up in places with people that you only heard about, you know. And to sit at the knee of Nick Stewart and him telling you about him and Harry Belafonte, him and Sidney Poitier, and all this stuff, that was a great experience.
Wow.
Okay, so then bring up a little further quickly. Started Fox Follies Theater Workshop. We did a lot of plays, taught the children, taught community theater, which was like one of the things that you did as a part of being theater where you had workshops. So we did a lot of workshops. I mean, I had Raymond St. Jacques, we had Rosalind Cash, we had Shirley Joe Finney, we had Renee Watson. All these beautiful people were coming in and out of the Follies, you know what I'm saying? They teach and learn something. Ted Lange used to come over there. I remember Ted. Jennifer Tilley was the first. We did a mixed version of Vanities with Jennifer Tilley, Renee Watson, and Shirley Joe Finney, which was the first interracial production of Vanities. That went over pretty good, you know. It's like, that was a nice experience. So, fast forward from there, I went to audition for a show called Corner Boy. I met this guy named Herbert Simmons, who later became my mentor. He had written a book called Corner Boy, which was a Houghton Mifflin Award-winning book. And he wanted to, MGM brought him out here and offered him, I think it was $50,000 or something for the property. Well, not knowing, like you know now, you know when you sign a deal with the studio, not only do they own the show, they own it in perpetuity, and anything else that spins off from it, they own the name and everything.
Right.
You know, so he didn't go for that deal. But the mentorship that he gave me a chance to, we created a home entertainment video on Corner Boy. And we did this like in like 78, 79, and like we were trying to do it as a series. But ultimately, what happened was with the property, later on, some years later in the mid-90s, we packaged it and made it a home entertainment video. And we distributed it to about 300 stores in the Los Angeles, Long Beach area.
Wow.
So I had an experience of taking something from concept to completion. So that was kind of very enlightening. And Simmons was a little older than me, so he was kind of like very much of a mentor. As a matter of fact, he's the reason that I became a photographer. Okay. Fast forward a little bit later, we did
Penitentiary.
Leon Isaac Kennedy and Jamal Fanaka.
Yes.
I met Jamal. He was a student at UCLA. And Penitentiary was a student film.
A student film?
A student film, yes. It was a non-union student film. Wow. And, he called me up one day and said, come work in it, da-da-da. So we did it. So anyway, Penitentiary, that film came after such a long drought, because it came after the blaxploitation film. So like from the late, I mean, we didn't hardly do anything during the 80s. I don't think, not too much. Not too much. But the early 70s, somewhere in there. Yeah. But we went to We went to Cannes.
Cannes Film Festival.
Cannes Film Festival, and Jamal made all kind of deals. He went over there. When he went over there, he was living in the projects. When he came back, he had a brand new Rolls Royce.
Go ahead.
So that was an enlightening experience because you had an opportunity to see how the film business worked, and you would showcase your film, and you get a chance to meet the distributors from all over the world. So that was all of these things kind of stockpile and build in your psyche in terms of how to deal with this industry or how you think you want to deal with it. And I think for myself that you learn and acquire more than you really know how to use at certain times. I mean, it takes years later when you say, oh, this happened or that happened. So I think that led to pretty much where we're at now with the technical stuff and how films are made and how you don't need as much money, and you realize now that you can do things on your own. But let me interject this for all of the aspiring filmmakers out there. This is the 100th year of that Oscar Micheaux first began to make black films. So just taking that into consideration, there is no reason that we can't do anything that we aspire to do.
Oh, yes, ask David Duvernay that.
Yes. You know, now you may not get the big news splashings and gazillions of dollars, but if you are an artist who aspires to do something, or just say you want to make films that are relevant to where we're at in society, or anything, whatever you feel that's relevant to you as a filmmaker. Everything doesn't have to be historical all the time.
No.
You know, we don't have to do all the Nat Turners and all this stuff all the time. I mean, there's love stories, there's success stories, there's business stories, there's achievement stories, you know.
War movies, Indian.
I mean, we were in all of that.
Right.
We were in all of that. I mean, So I think that we need to, you always have to keep reinventing yourself in this business.
Yes.
I mean, like, from Corner Boy, I wound up being a journalist with a newspaper. We had a newspaper called Turnaround News Magazine.
Right, I remember that.
I used to interview people, take pictures and stuff. So that keeps you in the business.
Right.
You know. And then I worked for 10 years with the L.A. Watch Times, being their photographer.
Oh, yes,
so all this time, so then I went to LACC. I studied filmmaking and writing.
Right.
Because you had to take writing in order to take filmmaking. Right. So that was an enlightening experience. I taught at West LA College. I mean, we did a couple of shows over there. The most famous play I liked was called The Day of Absence. And The Day of Absence was this play of what happens when none of the black folks go to work that day. And
that would be a Day of Absence.
Yes. It was a very good show. The Douglas Tunney Award with Negro Ensemble Company.
Gotcha.
We did that. So just to talk about a few of those things. When you get me to talking about it, like,
that's
that,
great.
you know.
That's great. Can we go back to one person's name? Because again, I have great feeling for him. Jamal Fanaka.
It was on my tongue. Jamal was a great inspiration. Jamal was guerrilla filmmaking at its best.
Yes.
You know, Jamal was one of them kind of guys is that when you got to a location, you didn't leave until you got everything you needed.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, he broke the rules.
Yes, he did.
But in a filmmaking kind of way. Jamal was a student of UCLA.
Right.
And now Jamal was, the highest one, the awards.
Oh, the Academy Awards.
No, the scholar.
And what award in what business?
And his degree.
Oh, you mean he had a bachelor's degree?
Oh no, it was
PhD?
higher than that. He was
PhD, master's.
I can't think. I can't. It wasn't Phi Beta. It was anyway.
Okay.
Summa cum laude.
Okay. Oh, you mean top as far as okay.
Yeah.
Best.
Jamal was summa cum laude.
Yes.
Brother out of Compton, and so UCLA taught you the whole essence of you did everything at UCLA. Well, USC you departmentalized.
Yes.
Okay. You brought in a different department. Well, UCLA, the filmmaker learned how to do the whole complete film. Right. So Jamal, I watched him make his film. We shot it around LA here, and he was just such a great influence. I don't think enough people really give him his due in terms of the contributions that he made as a filmmaker. And one of the things Jamal did was Jamal owned all of his negatives.
Yes, he did.
You know, which is
he
rare.
had a battle with some of the studios. And other
Oh,
people.
but please, he had battle till the day he died. Till the day he died. Well, you know, he was, let's just say, let's call it like, well, he was blackballed.
Yeah.
And he was, Jamal was raw.
Yes.
And there was a lot of things that he used to tell the guys that were in the Directors Guild back in the day. They thought Jamal was too radical, you know, because he didn't mind rocking the boat. And he was wanting us like, we make these, why aren't we allowed to participate in it? Well, as we know, you know, the system doesn't like anybody to rock the status quo.
No.
You know, but that didn't stop Jamal. I think Jamal made 6 or 7 films.
Yes.
You know,
Penitentiary 2.
Yeah. Street Wars.
Street Wars. Oh, yeah, Street Wars, right.
Street Wars,
yes,
great film. I mean,
I was an extra in that movie.
Yes, yeah.
Street Wars.
Yes.
I remember we went up to Lemert Park, did a lot of shooting over there.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. Oh, God. The best story was we was going to shoot this basketball scene.
Right.
Remember? And the guy never showed up.
Never showed up, yeah.
Coming to find out the dude like did some real serious stuff, man. And the whole production was waiting for the whole day.
Yes.
So, but Jamal was one of my, definitely a mentor.
Definitely a mentor. Yeah. When I first met you, I remember it was back in early 80s, mid to early 80s, because I was in the Navy, coming out of the Navy, and you were working with a guy by the name of J.J. Jones.
J.J. Jones. Another monumental occasion, because we did something called the Black Talent Directory.
Yes, you did.
Where we were, which came off of Shirley Moore. Remember ABAT? Alliance of Black Entertainment Technicians. And we did this thing at the Palladium where we showcased stunt people, makeup, costume, wardrobe, and the whole thing, hair and all this. So we highlighted every facet of filmmaking,
right?
And made this book where the studios could go in and find us. And I mean, I know people are still coming up with that today.
Yes,
you know. But let me say something about that. I get people come and say, "Oh, we're doing this and we're going to find this," and there's nothing new out here.
Right.
People hustle
yes.
out here, okay? So I think one of the things that we all should pay attention to is not only do you hustle as an individual, you've got to hustle together as a group to create opportunities for yourself.
Exactly.
And too many times I think we go to the enemy or go to the opposition, let's put it like that, asking them for opportunity to do something different. Well, they're already making money.
Sure.
So they're not that interested in doing anything different. Unless you have a track record when you get there and you bring an audience.
I like your philosophy.
Yes. So, you know, I don't mean it to be sour apples.
Right, of course.
It's just we have to remain innovative and understand. I think when we first come out here, we think movie star. We don't think entertainment business.
I don't think it's a business, right?
It's a business, and it's a large business, and there's lots of facets of it, you know.
Whatever happened to JJ? What's he doing these days?
JJ's in Africa mining for diamonds.
Mining for diamonds?
Yeah. So he says he's doing good. I talked to him a few months ago during the holidays.
Please give him my best.
Yeah,
and ask him if he ever makes his way back this way, we'd like to get him on the show.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I'm going to give him your email address.
Please do.
Yes,
Please,
I will.
Thank you,
you know.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You and I also worked on a play one time, a play called The One. You were the director
Ooh,
and producer.
The One. Yeah, that was Dash Hadou, Glenn Tyree.
Glenn Tyree, yes.
Yes, that was a weird play.
Yes.
I mean, weird is not maybe the word that you want to use. It was
different.
Different, you know. And I think in retrospect, we should not be afraid to do something different.
Right.
I mean, like last night I was watching Hamilton.
Yeah. Oh, wasn't that nice on the Tonys last night?
Yeah, it was like
They won 11 awards last night.
And like the thing about it is, for me, is like I had incorporated a lot of that in Red, White, and Blues that I wrote.
Yes.
You know, and I had some Muhammad Ali in it. I had some Malcolm X in it. I had some Dr. King in it. And not only that, I had black soldiers, but I had the Buffalo Soldiers and all this stuff. And we did some rap.
Right.
So it makes you, and we were pretty successful with it in the Pacific Northwest. You know, one of the things that I've learned, and hopefully all of us will learn this, is when you get a project, try not to ever give up on your project and develop your project. That's very important. Too many times we do things and we show it 5 or 6 times, you put it down, and you think it's ready and it's not ready. You know, so we have to develop. This is not a sprint. This is a journey. You know, so I just hope to share with a lot of the young cats and the young ladies out there.
Especially all the experience that you've had.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's you know, I learned, and I don't mind sharing it, but it's like, you know, just finding out where we're at and taking it further. You know, like things right now, technology is creating a lot of opportunities for us, so it's time to take advantage of them.
2 words,
Yes.
Stage 52.
Stage 52. Wow. Okay, Ron. Stage 52, I worked with that. James Burks and I did that.
James Burks.
Inner City Cultural Center, the C. Bernard Jackson Readers with Theater. We did about 30-some plays over there, readings.
Yes.
And it was a very good experience. My thought was I wanted to take a lot of this stuff and develop it into film,
Right.
which I did do with
Okay.
the pitch, thing called The Club. We'll talk about that in a second. But Stage 52 was a great experience. We did a lot of shows over there, Stage 52.
Yes, you did.
A lot of actors, Ted Lange, Virginia Capers, just to name a few.
Lynn Connor.
Lynn Connor.
yeah.
I think Glenn, we
did a lot.
did something with Glenn over there.
Michael Jackway Jr.
Michael Ojokwe. Yeah,
I used to tease
remember.
Michael all the time.
Yeah.
But see, one thing he'd always do, he'd stand on the stage, and I'd say, hi, everybody. I said, what's your name?
Michael
Yes,
Ojokwe,
Michael Jackway,
LA
my man.
Web Fest.
Well, LA Web Fest.
Yes, Michael's doing a
Brilliant
great
guy.
job with
Brilliant.
the LA Web Fest.
Yes.
We do web series.
Yes.
Yeah, no, so Michael is the oldest web series, the oldest web festival in the world.
In the world.
Yes,
At
that's right.
Stage 52, you guys, you know,
Which came out of Stage 52.
Which came out of Stage 52. But you guys would do so much stuff. You guys, not only would you put on the plays, you'd serve the food, you'd do all kind of things for people. It was a pleasure going over to Stage 52. Didn't cost you much to get a ticket.
No.
The only thing we tell people, get there early so you get the best seat.
Yes, yes.
Have a
yes.
great time.
Great time, great time. I mean,
Foxy,
I think
you
we
did a
set the
lot of work for
precedent
us. Yes.
for Readers Theater here.
Yes, you did.
Or not, maybe not. Well, we contributed.
Yep.
We were blessed to be a part of it. That was good.
Now, as you say, your love of theater, the way you did all the things that you did, you would always write, you wrote plays, you produced plays. Here's a question I always ask actors. Auditions. You got to do an audition. So what's your thoughts about auditions?
My thought is I'm not very good at them. Maybe that's why I write, produce, and all that stuff. You know, but I've been successful. I mean, I've worked on television. I did films. I've did a lot of commercials.
Yes.
It's a process, and it's a process that should be very well respected. Okay. And you have to work. We have to work on our craft every day, so that when the moment comes, you are ready. Preparation equals whatever equals success. Preparation and opportunity equals success. So it's like you have to be prepared for the opportunity to be successful. So you only get 30 seconds, man.
That's right.
So it's like you have to bring something in that 30 seconds that you're on camera. Now, okay, the process, first of all, you got to get an agent because you can't get there unless you got an agent, which is catch-22. But once you get, got to have good pictures. There's a representative of
And
it.
smile in the pictures.
Yeah,
Show
definitely. But it's an art. It's an art. I mean, and commercials, theatrical and commercial auditions are different. Of course, so like dance auditions. But the audition is a process where you have to be prepared to, at the drop of a hat, interpret what the needs are of the copy that's being served to you.
Exactly. Because the acting business has changed a lot over these years, has it not?
No.
Okay.
Same game. Nothing changes but the players.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All of this stuff is a format. I mean, I found out that to be a lead man, you got to be a certain height.
Okay.
More than likely. You know what I'm saying? Certain complex. So it's like, no, don't get me wrong. There are individuals who break the ceiling,
right,
and do something or well-rounded. For instance, take a Sam Jackson. I mean, like, he does commercials. He does. I mean, his roles of films are. But if you look at it from my perspective, I mean, like Morgan, Denzel, Sidney. There's a certain format. There's a certain kind of guy that possesses a lot of different stuff.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Now, let's do this. We got movie stars and we got actors.
Right.
Okay. Stage and screen is entirely two different formats.
Yes, it is.
So just so that we understand that, screen is this.
Right.
Stage is the whole.
rest of it, yeah.
So it's a matter of using to bring all of this feeling when you're doing films. You got to bring it
Right.
into this part of your body.
Right.
Whereas on stage you have your whole body to use. So, but just knowing these things, it's like, but you get that by studying and by working.
Right.
You have to be in it to win it.
I like the way you say that.
Yes.
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 Technology has changed. We talked about it a moment ago.
Yes.
Technology's really changed now.
Technology's changed to the fact that now I have a film camera.
Right.
You know, but I learned something about this whole. Let me go back to being in Seattle doing South by Northwest. I met a guy named Joe Wilcox.
Okay.
Joe Wilcox was one of the DPs that first started working with Michael Jackson. Joe Wilcox was a bad dude. Okay, read about Joe Wilcox, Google him. And Joe Wilcox did a film. He shot a film on video, shot it film style. In other words, he used a video camera and had different setups as opposed to shooting with 3 cameras. So he used one camera. So when I saw this cat make a movie with a video camera, that really inspired me to do a lot of stuff with video. And I got involved in video in like the late 70s. I was shooting video then. I was shooting video before I was shooting photography.
Okay.
And so subsequently you came out, you know, the video camera. And you know, video and films now hook up, you get a camera now to shoot stills and videos.
Right.
So you can create your own stuff
As you
right
go
now.
along, right.
All right? So you got webisodes, you got streaming, you got video on demand. You got so many formats out here now rather than totally theatrical release. I mean, so there's money being made. The business has evolved. You know, you got streaming. I mean, you know, like, look what we're doing now.
What we're doing now,
You know, so
being seen around the world just by here in LA. Right.
you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Via the internet and stuff like that. So the opportunities are endless.
Yes.
We just have to be creative enough to be able to use them to do what we're trying to do.
Okay.
You know.
Speaking of creativity, you did a couple of films. We want to show one of your films that you
Okay.
did. It's one that's called Sunset Red.
And I will bring this individual to justice.
Thank you, Detective Moss. This is Chris Reese in South LA.
What's your story? What's my story? I'ma kill my daddy.
hell is this?
It was great. Not too much words were spoken, but the picture told it all.
That was a good picture. I like that. I like that. We do some raw stuff, man.
You too, man.
We do some raw stuff.
Over
You know.
40 years you've been doing this. Wow.
40 years, 45. It started 68, man. It's like, I've been in LA 40 years. Can you imagine?
Ugh.
You know? Now, we talked to, my last plug here
Right.
is my latest film we did called The Club.
Right, the club.
With Tommy Ford.
Tommy Ford.
Yes. Very good picture. It's about a preacher who's been accused of having extramarital activities. I mean, where'd that subject come from? That never happens.
Right.
You know. But that's one thing that we did. It was a short film.
Right.
Written by Alunga Dale and Ken Davis wrote the story.
Okay.
Been knowing Alunga since 70 to 70s. We did a play at the Public Theater. Alunga was the head writer on the Red Fox show. Okay? So good friend. But we did this thing called Club. So we have a full-length script.
Right.
We did a web series.
Right.
And we even shortened the short script and did some more stuff with it. So these are all the things that you can do
Right.
now, you know. And I just did something. I'm getting everything in there, y'all. I'm getting some shameless plug.
You ain't got 35 minutes.
So we did this thing. Recently, I did a thing Ken Davis wrote called Infidelity,
Right.
which was another part of the club. But so what we're going to be doing, so what I'm doing as a part of myself and some other individuals, our objective is to create content.
Okay.
So,
Content.
yes, for all media. So we're working on a series of shows right now. Some of these I'm going to bring back. Red, White, and Blues will do it again. The Club will do. Corner Boy will do again.
Yes.
Hopefully, if God gives me enough time. But if He doesn't, I'll pass it on to somebody else.
Speaking of content, in 2014, you did a play called Living Fat. Remember during the summer seasons?
Yes.
You asked me to be the narrator, and I thank you very much for that. So great experience.
Also, you remember what was
Power Play in 2015.
Yes. So, Ron, we've done some things. We've done some things, man, with some great people. So I'm looking forward to continuing in this business. I'm just looking to stay ahead of the curve and stay current with some of these projects that we're doing. So hopefully a lot of this other stuff will come about. But at the same time, one of the things along the way, also, like I was telling you, I did was a still photographer.
Right. So
did a lot of stuff.
Yes, you are a known celebrity photographer.
Yes.
I don't want to talk too much about it, but go ahead.
Yeah. But I think we were talking about Arnold and Bill Jones. My man, Bill Jones.
Bill
Jones.
Yes.
We did a documentary with Bill called Still Bill.
Yes.
Because those of you who don't know, Bill was the premier photographer for Jet Magazine in the mid-50s, 80s, 90s, and the 2000s, who shot everybody. Bill's a great guy. He's one of my inspirations. Yes, also, at the same time, what I wanted to state is that I think a lot of my focus is now I call myself the Foxx Media Group.
Okay.
Which means that we do things with other individuals, other groups to take different slices of the pie to work together. So I think the focus for us now is the media business.
Because that's what it is, business.
Yes.
Right.
And what it involves is controlling your image. You know what I'm saying? So we are responsible for what people see that we do. We need to highlight our positive things in our community, the things that we're doing.
Come on,
because when we see the news, it's like everybody's got an opinion,
right,
but very seldom do our opinion. I mean, what irks me the most beyond anything is we talk about world situations and everything, and we're never at the table to express any of our thoughts on any of this stuff. Nobody asked anybody what we thought of Orlando. I mean, you got all these people with these opinions, all these newscasters, these different varied individuals. Where is our voice?
Right, because you have black gays. Thank you.
Okay, so, yes. Yes, I mean, so it's like, but anyway, to sum it up, without going on a tangent, I just think I really enjoyed the different things, trying to use the different elements that have gotten me, or that I've acquired on this journey that I'm on. I don't feel like I have the total solution. I just know that I've done a lot just with determination, and I've been a part of a lot with just through meeting people and determination. So I think what it's gotten me, what I'd like to pass on, is this business of the media, is being able to control our images, just like this radio show we're doing and this TV show we're doing. It's a combination thing. And when we do these productions, and when we do plays, when we do films, and not only that, when we cover stories, like there's a young lady here today, Miss Estelle, she's got this Honor Thy Father. I mean, it's like Judge Maybelline's got Honor the Unsung Fathers. Right. I mean, we don't give any, we need to spend some time talking about our dads.
Yes.
Because
a lot of us don't have dads.
Yes. I mean, everybody's got one. You just don't know where he at. See,
Pop
that's
was
it.
Rolling Stone.
Yeah, but you understand what I'm saying. But this is, I mean, we have everything that everybody else has.
Exactly.
The good and the bad. So, we just need to focus on telling our stories and quit crying about what somebody don't give you, because ain't nobody gonna give you nothing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Did nobody give them this, or whoever them this is. So I just wanted, just a combination of starting out in theaters and wanting to be an actor, I learned how to produce.
Yes.
I learned how to manage a theater company. I started taking pictures way back in the 70s. I bought my first camera. I bought my first movie camera in 1970.
Wow.
You know, and so I started shooting all this stuff. So I had no idea that I'd wind up being a photographer, or that would be how I feed myself. You know?
Right.
And
Because if you don't show up at an event, it's not an event.
so they
It's
say.
not an event. It's not an event.
It's nice
Right.
to be a part of,
Yes.
and people see you, and I mean, this is all God.
Yes.
You know, I mean, it's like you do a lot of things along this path,
Right.
and like, you know, the Simmonses and Jamals, you know, they put their hands on your and the Bill Jones, they put your hands on your shoulders, and they lead you places
Yes.
that you don't perceive that you would ever be, or what your contribution would be. And I just want to thank God. You know, I want to thank all the people that have been associated, that I've been able to be associated with along this trip. And I'm so much looking to working with these new young individuals and just bum rushing them with all this stuff that I got, that I've been a part of. So
One of the pleasures I've enjoyed is watching you when you're directing. You know, remember we sat down with the script. Everybody's got the script,
Right.
and everybody knows where they're standing at and what they're supposed to be doing. And I watch you. You're very meticulous. You work with the students, with the actors, and you get them to the point where when they say action, is going on.
it's going on.
It's
Well,
going on.
it's the
Been there.
process.
Seen
You
it.
know, I think, you know, for all of us, when you've studied this thing,
Right.
and you pass it on, and you know, I mean, I had just as an example of what you're saying, just this last play we did, Infidelity, had a great cast, and which is an essential part of this is selecting the people that you feel like can add something to, especially when they're available, and you know, taking the word off of the page.
That's what it's doing. Take it off that page.
Yeah, the dialogue, you know, being
Yes.
true to the text, and following and letting the character take you where the character goes, not what you think as an actor or a human being. You know, what you think, because it ain't about you. It's about what this person has written down on this paper, so being able to take it out. So I think that's an art that we need to be very meticulous about and share that, you know.
How do you want to be remembered?
Wow.
Ian Foxx. We call you Foxy. Yeah.
I just want to be, I think we had something that was said by Dr. Benjamin Mays when I graduated from high school, 1962, Detroit, Michigan. The secret to success is consistency of purpose. So I just like to be remembered as a brother who was persistent about pursuing his goals. That's enough for me.
That's a
You
lot.
know,
That's a
I got some grandkids now too, so it's like, that's fun.
How many you got?
Soon be 5.
5.
Yes.
You trying to catch up to me, brother?
Yeah, hey, brother. I was at your wedding. And I caught the garter belt. I was scared to death.
Can we cut that out and show y'all? Cut that out. And show.
I mean, I'm scared for me. It's like, I got to get married now.
Quick
You
thing,
know.
you just came back from a recent trip to Africa. How that work?
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Ooh, that was a bucket list trip. It was phenomenal.
Okay.
It was black. Through and through. What I enjoyed the most was the kids.
Good.
The eyes, the fire. It was like phenomenal. We were there on International Kids Day in Cameroon. For 3-4 hours, we watched kids from like 3 to 18, 19 years march by, proud, black, and determined. It's a force that can like really inspire you. Also, we went to where the slaves left, and you stand on the shores, and you realize that you are the ancestors of these people who left here 500-600 years ago, never to return. And for some reason, you're part of this that survived all the obstacles, not just slavery. I'm talking about drugs, alcohol.
Yes.
I mean, all the things, diseases, everything that they throw at us. And you're standing there going, damn, must be something to this. So, I mean, it's a proud thing. There's a lot of opportunities there. And one of the most unique things is you ride by and you see these gatherings of people, and you don't get the feeling that the police are coming because they are home. So they're allowed to gather, where if there's a bunch of us, you know, there's got to be some discrepancies. We only come together for riots or, you know, not necessarily for riots, but protests and stuff like that. You know, because we're always discouraged from assimilating. You know, it's against the law for us to assimilate. So these people, these Africans, the African, and the continent, it's a continent. It's not a country. It's a continent. There's 54 countries.
In one continent, yes.
In one continent. So we need to know more about.
Yes.
I would hope that we would learn more about our culture, where we come from. But it was fantastic, man. It was and the camera got me there.
Oh, goodness.
Yes.
Goodness. Well, Foxy, I hate to do this to you, but we got a lot more to talk about. I'd like to bring you back at another time.
Yes.
Like I said, I'm looking at, we'll talk about Arnold Turner, we'll get Kim, we'll get you, of course, and we'll talk about Bill Jones. And that's a guy, a lot of us, we all know and love him. He lost his wife. He's going through a lot of change. When that guy hit him upside his head with a bat and almost killed him. A lot of things. And there's a fabulous guy. But today we're talking about Ian Foxx. And brother, thank you so much.
Thank you, Ron, for having me.
And it's a pleasure. Right. Yeah, we go back a long way.
Long way.
All right. Okay. All right. As you know, June 19th is celebrated as Father's Day. It's a day that we recognize and showcase our fathers. Now, for the past 15 years, our next guest has celebrated the father the special way of doing it. She calls it Honor Thy Father's Awards Dinner. And if you please have a seat, madam, please welcome our next guest, Miss Denise Estelle. Denise, welcome.
Thank you.
Pleasure having you here.
Thank you so much.
Oh, my pleasure, ma'am. You know, we're coming out to the wire now.
Yes.
Tell us about who, what, where, when, and why. Now the pressure's on you. What's happening?
Well, we are the 15th year for the Honor Thy Father Awards dinner.
Okay.
And we honor the men that make a difference in our lives, like husbands, fathers, and mentors. And it was initiated 15 years ago because, as you well know, we make a big deal out of Father's Day.
And we should.
And we should.
Right.
I mean, out of Mother's Day. I'm sorry.
Your Mother's Day, yeah. Do this for Mama. Do that for
Day.
Mama. What about Pops?
Oh.
What about Pops? Don't he count?
Get closer to you.
Yeah, there you go.
So, yeah, we make a really big deal out of Mother's Day, and so it's appropriate for us to make a big deal out of Father's Day. And so with the Honor Thy Father Awards dinner, we have family and friends that want to honor, you know, a husband or a father or mentor. And when they approach us, we encourage them to make it an element of surprise. So the father, husband, or mentor has no idea that he's being honored.
That's the hook in your awards program. I love that.
Yeah, it's really extraordinary.
They think they're coming to see somebody else get an award,
exactly.
and they get the award.
And they get the award.
Yeah.
And with that being said, in the program we have a portion called Words from the Heart. And Words from the Heart, we capture friends and family talking about what the honoree means to them. And we show it at the Honor Thy Father Awards dinner.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Can we take a look at just a little short video that we have that tells us a little bit about what you do at this event?
All I know is that he's absolutely amazing. That's what I would say.
Hello, everyone. My name is Alvina Saunders, and this is my daughter, Tamani Saunders, and my wonderful husband, Kim Saunders. And I'm not going to spend much time. He is just my living, live hero. All right. He is my Superman. He is my strength and my rock. And he is why I'm standing here today. And my daughter wants to say something.
Hello, my name is Kimani Saunders. The name of my poem is Walk With Me, Daddy. Walk alongside me, Daddy, and hold my little hand. I have so many things to learn that I don't yet understand. Teach me things to keep me safe from danger every day. Show me how to do my best at home, at school, at play. I need a gentle hand to guide me as I grow, so walk alongside me, Daddy. We have a long way to go.
And while we have everyone's attention, I just want him to open his little gift. I am expecting.
Okay, well, that wasn't expected. Here is a father, and he was just told by his wife that she's expecting.
Yes,
that
was awesome. And the Saunders family, they're going to be participating with us this year with the little one.
With the little one, the little baby, okay.
The little baby boy.
What made you start this program?
Wow, that's really a good question and a long story, because the seed was planted a long time ago. Let me start out by saying I came from a single family household. It was me, my mother, and my sister. And my sister, she's a half-sister, and her father would pick her up every other weekend. And I didn't have anybody picking me up. And so when he would pick her up every other weekend, unbeknownst to me, I felt a sense of lack. I felt a sense of being a nobody. Every time she would come home, she would have clothes and new clothes and toys. And I felt as if something was being chiseled away. And so one particular day, my sister's father decided he said I could go with him and my sister. And so my mom asked me if I wanted to go, and I said yes. And so that was the weekend that my sister's father became my father, because unbeknownst to me, every weekend when he would pick her up, he would pick me up. And so as an adult, Ron, I would see fathers with their children on the street. I would see mentors. I would see coaches. And I would just want to hug them and thank them for being there, for their children, for their little league, for their mentees. It was just, whenever I see a man that's standing proud and being there for his children, I literally want to hug them. But of course, I can't do that. Right. So I decided to produce an awards dinner honoring men. Wow. And so that was the seed for Honor Thy Father.
Did you ever have a chance to join with your father? Your physical father?
You know what? With that being said, I have one memory of my dad. Okay. There was a gentleman that came over in uniform. I had never seen a man in uniform. And he wanted to speak to my mom privately. And so my mom asked me to wait in the living room. And so he went with my mom in another room, and they talked for a few minutes. And he came out and left. And my mother then told me that that was my father. And so that's the only memory that I have of my father. And then consequently, about 2 months after, that's when my sister's father stepped to the plate. Yes.
Wow.
Yes, that's the only memory I have of him. Yeah.
Wow.
Didn't even look at me.
Wow. Sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that. When you talk to people about fathers and what their father did and what their father didn't do, in the black community, we do have a shortage of fathers. A lot of guys, they make the babies, but they're not there. And we need to get the brothers to understand that child needs a father and a mother.
Yes.
Especially a boy child.
Yes,
Especially a boy child.
Absolutely. Yes, I have a son, Isaiah, and even though his father and I were separated at the time, when he was growing up, we had an understanding that he would stay with his father, and he would come with me on the weekend.
Yes.
And so he was in the midst of that manhood, because you watch your parents, you emulate from your parents.
Yes.
And so he is an extraordinary young man.
Yes,
yes, it really, really is.
What starts out as something good and goes a little bit south and then comes back, you can always recapture it and get that. I know I grew up without a father in New York City in Harlem, and my mother was my mother, she was my father. And like we said earlier, I just look out for you, take care of your mama, do it for your mama.
Yes.
Yeah, but also do it for your father.
Exactly.
Do it for your father.
Exactly.
Indeed. Now, last year you held this event at the Proud Bird.
It was at the Proud Bird last year, and I had to change the date. I had a family emergency in June of 2015.
Yes.
And so rather than putting it off another year, which is easy to do, especially when you don't have sponsorship.
Right.
I decided to do it anyway.
Right.
And as you can see, it was extraordinary.
Wow.
We honored 5 brothers such as you.
Oh, yeah, can you show that picture, my man? Would you please show that picture? Handsome young man got honored last year, and I really appreciate it. Yeah, that guy. Yeah, that fella, yeah.
Yay!
Yes, hey, thank you. It was a great honor. In fact, that plaque that you gave me, I have it up on the wall every day I walk through. Say, hey, how you doing?
Oh,
How you doing?
awesome, awesome.
But the actual event, can you tell our viewers and listeners exactly what to look forward to at this event this year?
Okay. First of all, it's going to be at the Doubletree Hilton in Culver City,
Okay.
6161 Centinela Avenue. The red carpet starts at 2, and the dinner program starts at 3. And it's a sit-down awards dinner. And we are so blessed. We have Oscar winner Louis Gossett Jr.
Yes, all right, yes.
as our keynote speaker. And he's really excited. He's bringing 2 of his sons.
Yes, yes.
And we have Punch TV that's going to broadcast it. And actually, Punch TV is going public on that day at the Honor Thy Father Awards dinner. And
Wow, that is an accomplishment.
That is,
Wow.
and needless to say, that's also Juneteenth.
Yes, it is.
And so we have a culmination of freedom, family, and economic empowerment.
Wow, just like Ian said a little while ago when he was talking about it, we as a people have to come together and stay together. And it's
Absolutely,
events like this
absolutely.
that bring us together.
Absolutely.
Definitely. Now, how can I get me a ticket?
You can go to honorthyfatherawards.com.
Okay.
And that's HONORTHYFATHER awards.com.
Okay.
And you would go to 2016 event and then click purchase tickets.
Okay, how much are tickets?
Dinner tickets are $65, and it is a sit-down awards dinner. It's not a buffet
Right,
where
not
you
a
go
buffet,
table
yes.
by table. And children's tickets are $35.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So,
Yes.
anything else you want to tell us about this event?
I do. Oftentimes, as I'm out and about promoting Honor Thy Father, I'll run across a family member that'll say, well, I would love to be there, but my husband is no longer here, or my father is no longer here. And so what we're doing is we're honoring posthumously. So if you want to honor your father, we will videotape friends and family talking about what your dad meant to you. And show it at the Honor Thy Father Awards dinner. My mouth is getting really dry. But yes, really exciting.
Indeed. Well, thank you so much. Before you go, I'd like to give you something, just a short idea to say thank you very much for what you have been doing for 15 years, and
Thank
keep
you,
on doing
Ron.
it. And let's
you.
get 30 years, 45 years, as many years as we need to do. Because again, we honor the mother, we honor the father, the brother, the sister, the whole family. It's about the family.
Yes, 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 it really is.
Indeed.
Yes, and so we're really, really excited again.
Yes.
15 years of, I got water everywhere, but
That's
15
okay.
years of honoring men that make a difference in our lives. And this is a marker for us. And we're just really excited. And God is everywhere.
God is
everywhere. And with every step I take, I just know that doors are opening and ways are being made. And Ron, thank you for having me on this show.
Sure, just a pleasure to have
really,
people know about what you're doing. Quickly, one more time. Where is the event going to be held at? Times, date, place, and times, ticket availability, all that good information.
Okay, it's going to be again at the Doubletree Hilton in Culver City, 6161 Centinela Avenue. And the red carpet starts at 2. The dinner program starts at 3. We encourage you to get your tickets by calling us at 310-927.
Before they run out.
Yeah, before they run out. 310-927-8339. And you can call us, or you can go to honorthyfatherawards.com and order your ticket.
God bless you for what you've done and what
Thank
you've been doing for such
thank
a long,
you. God
long
bless
time.
you as well.
Because again, this is something that is needed desperately in the community. And my thanks to you. Let me give you a big hug, girl.
Oh,
thank you.
thank you.
Thank you so much. Next year when you do this again, and as long as I'm doing this show, let's get together and
Okay,
get
I'll
that
love
word
it.
out there to
Absolutely,
the people.
absolutely.
So this is what we want to do.
Yes.
I think someone wants to kind of get your picture. They're trying to get your picture right over.
Yours too, Ryan.
Okay, we're doing this live.
Yes.
Okay. All righty. Okay, again, this is the Honor Thy Father Award Show
Yes.
on Sunday, June 19th,
June 19th.
right here in the great city of Los Angeles.
Yes.
Okay.
Did he pull up the commercial? There was a commercial.
Okay, is there a commercial you want to say? Okay.
Oh,
All
okay.
right. Well,
Got
thank
you.
you. Next time we'll get a chance to show it a little bit earlier.
Okay.
And I want to thank our viewers for coming out, and viewers and listeners for coming out today and listen to what we say. And hey, we say this. We'll see you again next time. Take care.